This is similar to the American system of checks and balances. We have an executive who enforces laws, the legislature who makes laws, and the judiciary who enforces the laws are carried out fairly. So the Prophet Muhammad also said that if you see injustice, first try to change it with your hands and physically change it. If that doesn't work, use your words. Since it is usually very difficult for us to physically change anything, our words are often the best tools available to us. If we can't effect change at the local level, we can at least use our speech to influence government policy. And this relates to last week's theme of civic engagement, which is absolutely essential for all of us. It is imperative that we use freedom of speech to speak against all forms of societal injustice, even if we feel like strangers in the process. So I'll speak about an example about this from my own life. So a few days ago, I wrote an article about interfaith dialogue between Hinduism and Islam. So this is a pretty controversial topic because, as you know, both religions have a lot of areas of fundamental disagreement. And when I wrote this, I expected there would be some kind of controversy about it. But what I did not expect was the amount of hate and negative comments I found on the article. So I was starting to become disheartened, like maybe I shouldn't have written this, maybe I should have stayed at home and not done anything. But what I was really inspired by was people who decided to counter those negative comments with more positive ones. So these were people who were just strangers, I didn't know them. They were basically people from the internet who had read the article and wanted to comment on it. And I'd also like to thank every one of you who personally sent me good wishes or commented on the article in a positive way, because that made me feel really good. And this is really relevant to us because the Quran tells us to repel evil with what is better. And if you do that, your enemies will become your friends. And I think it was great to see an example of that, in real life. And that was a pretty mild example because I wasn't threatened by my life or anything. And we have to remember that the Sahaba of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had it a lot worse than we did. When Islam was founded, the majority of Meccans were afraid that the new religion would disrupt their traditional power structure. And because of this, they began persecuting the Muslims. Muslims were thrown out of their homes, ridiculed, and even killed for their beliefs. And the situation was so bad that Prophet Muhammad and his followers had to go to Medina and flee the city. And interestingly, when they got to Medina, they were again strangers because they were in the minority. But what's interesting is that because of their commitment to good speech and good beliefs and the religion of Allah, they're able to convert that into a majority, and they're able to establish Islam as a fundamental religion. And they never gave up their commitment to righteousness and Sirat al-Mustaqim. So I encourage all of you to speak up against what is wrong, even if it is not popular. And because we live in the United States, we have an exceptional ability to do that because of our rights. But we also must remember that other people in other parts of the world do not have the same freedoms that we have. And if they cannot speak up for themselves, it is our duty to speak up for them. Thank you.